From Gygax to Artax, nerds are passionate about a lot of things, but there's something they love above all else, and that is correcting people. This is Actually. Joining us today, we have Ally Beardsley.
What's up?
Ify Nwadiwe.
Hey, howdy.
Howdy indeed. And Becca Scott.
Good day.
I have here a stack of statements. These are false statements about the franchises that are nearest and dearest to your hearts. It's up to you to find the thing that is wrong with it and correct me. Now, every correction must be preceded by the phrase, actually? And secondly, you can interrupt me at any time, just like in real life.
Like this?
Yeah, perfect. Everyone good on the rules?
Yeah.
Everyone ready to start?
Let's do it, yeah.
The primary antagonist of the Zelda franchise, Ganondorf, is a member of the Gerudo race, thieves and tricksters from the desert. Trained by his father in the ways of magic, Ganondorf often possesses the Triforce of Power, making him nearly invincible.
Actually, I don't think Ganondorf has a dad.
Hey! That's correct.
Yeah. The Gerudo is primarily a race of women, and they have one dude every 100 years. And I don't know how they procreate, but I assume that one dude has a lot of work.
That is 100% correct. I can't believe you knew that. The Gerudo are a race of women, except for every 100 years when a man is born and he becomes their king.
Wait a minute.
Yeah, right?
I literally read a Tumblr post about that today. So,
No way.
yeah.
All right, we're moving on to question 2. We first see the palace of Jabba the Hutt on Tatooine when he is given Han Solo's body frozen in carbonite. He also keeps a monstrous creature in his palace known as the Sarlacc and feeds his enemies to it.
Actually, Han Solo is not in carbonite.
Oh, he's in carbonite.
Actually, I don't think they're on Tatooine, but I don't know any of the other planets. I'm gonna say, Jabuko.
No, Jabuko, though the center of the universe, doesn't exist. There is no Jabuko, but they are on Tatooine.
Oh.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it's moisture farmers and huts.
Ooh, moisture farmers.
All right, Ally, calm down.
Actually, he keeps the Sarlacc outside.
That's correct. The Sarlacc is a different monster. The Sarlacc is out in the desert. It's like the big whirlpool full of teeth, basically, that extends underground into like a bigger monster that we never see. The Rancor is the monster that we see inside Jabba's palace.
Actually, the second monster inside his palace is his crippling self-doubt.
That's true. You know, you really not enough attention is paid to that. How did the Hutts become crime lords?
Right-wing media, man. Fox News came out there, you know. Like, why are you going to use the picture of the Hutts using gang signs when they get slayed by Jedis, you know?
It's always the graduation picture of Jabba the Hutt put on the news.
This question is about comics. The character most people know as Wolverine was born with the name Logan Howlett, named after his father, though he occasionally goes by the name James or Jim Howlett.
He actually goes by Jukebox Howlett because he was known for walking into a bar and then hitting the jukebox and it would always play a right song.
Yeah, Wolverine was a real Fonzie character. Everyone's like, hey, it's Jukebox Howlett coming in with his knife hands and his perfect song choices. No, that's incorrect. I'm sorry.
Actually, I don't think it was Logan Howlett. That sounds like a bootleg name. That sounds like the name I use when I'm in these clubs, you know? You gotta be like, what's your name? Logan Howlett. I don't think that's his name, though.
I'm gonna give you the point. Wolverine was not born with the name Logan Howlett. He was born with the name James Howlett, and later adopts the name Logan from Thomas Logan, who was his family's groundskeeper who murdered his father. Though you later find out that Thomas Logan is actually his biological father.
Oh, wow.
This is about the Chronicles of Narnia. Edmund Pevensey first crosses paths with the White Witch, false queen of Narnia, while wandering through the Lantern Waste, an area of Narnia so named after the lamppost built in the midst of the forest by talking beasts.
Actually, they were in some snowy place. There weren't that many lampposts.
There aren't that many lampposts, but that is the Lantern Wastes, which did happen to be a snowy place at the time, but no, that is not correct.
I don't really have an answer for this one. I just want to point out that I read the original before this called the Bible. And I'll tell you what, not enough lines in the first one. I'm glad we redid it.
Yeah.
Actually, she wasn't the White Witch. She was the Ice Queen.
She has Ice Queen powers, but she is the White Witch.
Interesting how you say that, but I disagree.
Disagree.
Actually, his name wasn't Peter. He had changed it to Logan.
Yes, after the man who killed his father. No. The lamppost wasn't built. It grew with the dawn of time after the White Witch dropped a chunk of lamppost from the real world into Narnia.
That makes so much sense.
Yes, of course it makes sense. How else would a lamppost get there?
Yeah.
This brings us to our first shiny question.
Shiny.
Now, shiny questions, just like shiny Pokemon, are basically the same. They're worth the same amount. They're just a little bit different and a little bit rarer. There's a little game called What's Wrong with This Picture? We're gonna put a picture on the screen here, and it's up to you to tell us what is wrong. Boom. There's a lot to take in here. Everyone is scanning, hoping to be the first to find what is wrong with this image.
Actually, is that Wally in Player One?
No, that is not Wally, although it looks very similar. That is Rob the Robot, which was a peripheral you could buy for your Nintendo.
Actually,
Ify.
Zelda and Sheik are the same character. They're just alternate costumes.
That's correct, but they are, in fact, different playable characters within this version. Yes.
Actually, Spyro was not in this.
That's correct.
Yes!
Spyro is not a playable character in Smash Brothers. He's there, the bottom row on the left.
Dope.
Yeah, no Spyro. Would be cool, though.
That would
right?
be so cool. Or Gex the Gecko.
Yeah, I thought-
Just like sashaying through Super Smash Brothers.
You noticed some mistakes that we made in the last episode, and here they are. At Sonny Clemens said Renly, when acting as a self-proclaimed king, did not have a King's Guard. He had the Rainbow Guard, which, while serving the same purpose as the King's Guard, is not named as such, of which Brienne was the Blue. Frankie is Cool 3 says Rillier is pronounced incorrectly as the language of the Old Ones is unpronounceable by the human tongue. That is correct, and I have once again mispronounced Rillier. This question is about Harry Potter. The Basilisk Nagini is killed in the Chamber of Secrets when Harry pierces its skull with the Sword of Gryffindor, pulled from the Sorting Hat itself.
Actually.
Yeah.
He doesn't pierce that thing with a sword. It gets in the head. He hits him in the head.
No.
Actually.
Yes.
He pierces Nagini with the sword, which he receives from the bird that belongs to
phoenix.
Dumbledore.
The things you're saying are correct, but we're missing the big inaccuracy here.
Actually, Nagini is Voldemort's pet snake.
That is correct, yes. Nagini is Voldemort's pet snake, not the Basilisk in the Chamber of
Oh my
Secrets.
god!
So, it's obvious.
Kills me.
Yes,
Why would they
they're-
name the
Damn.
basilisk? It's a basilisk.
Come on, it
Damn.
doesn't need a name. It's crazy that Voldemort is basically Wizard Hitler, and his chief officer is just his pet snake.
I mean,
Big
have you
snake.
seen the movie Anaconda?
Anaconda?
It took an ice cube to stop one of those, man.
Also, Nagini's such a cutesy name. It's like, and now my sidekick, Nagini.
Yeah, Nagini sounds like a sushi option.
He does.
Yeah, or like a fancy drink.
I'm having a wild night. I'm gonna switch to Nagini's.
This concerns the never-ending story.
Okay.
At the end of the movie, as the Nothing begins to spread and Atreyu is confronted by the terrible Gamork, Bastian must save the childlike Empress by giving her a new name. The name he chooses, Fantasia, restores the world of imagination and brings back to life all that had been lost to the Nothing.
Wasn't allowed to watch this. Very religious.
Really, you weren't allowed to watch the never-ending story?
We didn't. Yeah, I watched like Mulan a million times.
Sure.
And became a baby dyke.
Any other guesses?
Actually, I don't think they changed her name to Fantasia. I think they changed it to Tracy.
You're actually halfway correct.
Actually, they didn't change her name to Fantasia. They changed it to Anastasia.
You are equally right in that they did not change her name to Fantasia.
Actually, they didn't change her name to Fantasia. They changed her name to Celeste.
You are weirdly the closest guess, but I think I'm still gonna give it to Becca for be the first one. The name he gives her is Moonchild.
Celeste was very close.
Ally's reaction is the correct
Celestia.
reaction to have to that. It's like you can pick any name in the world. It's like Moonchild.
Yeah,
for
it's like
sure.
a celebrity name.
Yes.
Like, oh, this is my child, Moonchild.
Yeah, it was on like page 6 the next day. It's like, did you hear the new name? The childlike Empress has a new name, and you'll never believe what it is.
That's the opposite end of the spectrum from the parents that don't let you watch Neverending Story.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah,
true.
exactly.
Yeah.
The ones that name
If you
you
were
And they
named,
name you Allison.
yeah, if you're named Moonchild, you're required to watch Neverending Story. It's like, all right, we don't believe in religion here, but we do believe in this.
Yeah, they
Yeah.
Clockwork
Acid
Orange your eyes
kale.
open.
Yeah. Just sitting there. Moving on to our next question. Batman, also known as Bruce Wayne, keeps the streets of Gotham safe from the most impressive rogues gallery in comics. His arch-nemesis, the Joker, has foiled him time and time again, often aided by Harley Quinn, whose first appearance in The Killing Joke is held up as one of the most popular...
Actually, her first appearance was in Batman the Animated Series.
That is correct. She appeared in the animated series. She appeared in the animated series first, and was later added to the comics.
Yes.
This brings us to our second Shining question.
Ooh. Shiny.
I will tell you the topic. The first person to buzz in will get the chance to answer it. Question concerns Game of Thrones.
You gotta get them fast thumbs, you know? Flight simulator, baby. Got that bogey, Maverick. Highway to the danger zone. Oh no, my ejector seat killed my best friend.
Is this all Game of Thrones reference?
Yeah, all Game of Thrones.
I've never
Know
seen
about
it.
those injectors.
Okay, this is a little game we're calling Map Maker, Make Me a Map. What is a fantasy series without a big, complicated, delightful map with little pictures of mountains on it? Now, this is a map of Westeros and the surrounding regions. We've removed all the locations from the map, and there's a few you can see lined up on the side. They're magnets that we want you to place in roughly their correct location. If you can get more than half of these in their right spot, I will give you a point.
Okay.
All right.
Well, see, lucky for me, I read the books. And in the books was a map, and every time I took a dookie, I looked at that map.
Okay, let's see. I'm seeing a couple here that are in the right spot, but I don't think you have.
No.
I don't think you have more than half. So I see Becca eagerly.
Okay, let's see. Let's see.
You got to get this mostly right. This is maybe one where it's actually more valuable to watch the show than read the books, because you've got that map at the start every single time.
That's true.
Unless you're one of those people who speeds through the introduction.
No.
All right, well, this is looking much better than Ify's.
Well, you know.
Mount Aaron is noticeably off. Sunspear is noticeably off. The rest are pretty close. So I'm going to say that's more than half, and we're going to give that point to Becca.
Wow.
I
Very
also
good.
look at that map while taking a dookie.
Now, of course, we're not perfect either. Sometimes we're very, very wrong. So if you saw something that we got wrong on this show and you want to correct us, you can tweet us at the handle that's on the screen right now. This question is about Firefly. The TV show,
we
not
know.
the ins. Yeah, okay, go on, get on. Captain Malcolm Reynolds and the crew of the Serenity have plenty to worry about. Criminals, outlaws, and former rebels man the ship, putting them on the wrong side of the Alliance and the backwater planets they travel through, put them often in the path of the Reavers, a deadly race of alien marauders that torture and devour their prey.
The Reavers are not aliens.
That is correct. The Reavers are not aliens.
Actually.
But you did not say...
Actually, the Reavers are not aliens.
That's correct, Ally. Could you tell me what they are?
Mutants?
That's actually correct. That is correct. The Reavers are not aliens. They are mutants.
Need you to take that.
Actually.
Get that.
Don't you green party me and say you needed me to take that point, because I'm
worry, come
coming
on.
for you.
No, that's cool.
This is about gremlins.
Oh, okay.
Midnight.
Actually,
One goes to Ally again. Mogwai are naturally affable, cute little creatures, such as Gizmo. However, getting them wet causes them to multiply and turn into the evil, scaly creatures known as gremlins. Ally.
Actually, gremlins are furry, not scaly.
No, that is, gremlins they're little slimy reptilian. Mogwai are furry. Ify.
Actually, you gotta feed them after midnight to get them to turn into the gremlins. If you get them wet, they just get nasty, stanky. I mean, it's just another one of the multiple ways that they can turn into gremlins.
Give me your correction here.
Actually, you have to feed them after midnight to turn them into gremlins, as well as get them wet.
That is correct. The water makes them multiply, but it's the food that makes food after midnight that makes them turn evil. Very good.
Half point?
For your very early
For
midnight.
Ally for stealing.
Yeah, half point for Ally. She was correct with actually
Excellent.
midnight. Bonkers rules with Gremlins though, right? Like it's always after midnight.
Yeah.
When does that?
What
That
time
is true.
zone
Yeah,
matters.
yeah. That is true. Like at some point, it is always after.
Like
midnight.
when does that turn over? When can you start
Yeah.
feeding them again?
It's officially before midnight now.
And this is our third and final shiny question.
Ooh.
First person to buzz in will get their chance to answer. Your topic is weapons.
Oh, mother! I thought I had it.
This works for both games and DDR. You keep your finger on the button, not above it.
This is a game called Order Up. Each of these swords has a specific name. I want you to please arrange these swords in alphabetical order
knew it.
by the name of the sword. Got that?
Yeah.
Yeah? Okay. Okay, so let's see here. It's not in the perfect order, so I will give, who buzzed in? Ally?
Ally.
Ally. I will give Ally a chance to correct it perfectly. If you can do it perfect, we'll give you the point. Incorrect.
Oh.
Becca.
I don't know, why not?
Feeling their energy.
X before T, bold.
The problem here is not me not knowing the swords, it's my alphabetism.
Oh, okay.
Okay, this is also incorrect. But Ify, since you were the first to go, if you can at least tell me the name of the swords.
Oh,
then-
well, I know this is the Master Sword.
Correct.
Lightsaber.
Yep.
Is this Excalibur?
It is Excalibur.
Okay, cool. And this one is, I know it's probably from Lord of the Rings, so it's like the Elorian or Alorian, Elven, because it's definitely got the Elven markings,
Yep.
but I don't know, you know how the elves do. And I forgot the name of the Thundercat blade.
This one is Sting.
Wow.
LOL.
Sting. So nothing like Elorian.
So it has frosted
Sting.
tips.
That is the sword that Bilbo found
Oh.
and named Sting, but it is an elvish blade.
Yeah,
it probably had
but
some other name before that.
renamed it.
But
See, that was a tricky dicky one.
Tricky Dicky.
Oh, Lord of the Rings.
And this is the Sword of Omens.
Okay.
And a fun fact, the thing you assumed was Excalibur is in fact Excalibur. In fact, if you look at the pommel, it says Excalibur. Well, no one got it perfectly, but if you were able to name more than half of these swords, I'm going to go ahead and give you a point.
Woo.
All right, Ify, you're in the lead with 5. Becca right behind him with 4. Ally, a delicious 2.
Thank you.
You know, it's not a full meal, but it's like it
a
tastes
snack.
good. And this brings us to our final question. Our final question,
It's worth 4 points.
which is worth the same number of points. But in some ways, some might say it's more important than any other question because, as always, our final question concerns real-life skills. In the event of an earthquake, the safest place to be is in a door frame because these are the most structurally sound elements of most buildings and will remain standing even if the rest of the building collapses.
I'm actually the safest place to be in an earthquake is in an airplane.
That is technically true, which is the best kind of true. I'm inclined to give you a point unless someone can immediately tell me what is written on my card.
Actually, the safest place to be in your house during an earthquake is between 2 bookshelves, so then when they both topple, you're in a little teepee.
A perfect arrangement with books toppling all over you.
Wait, what is his answer right now?
In an airplane?
Back.
What? No, okay. Actually, the safest place to be during an earthquake is in a hallway.
Just any
Because then
hallway?
you're around photos of your loved ones. This has got to be airplane. Wait, is it really door frame, but we have to have a better reason why?
Actually,
Yeah.
you want to be standing in the doorway, door frame, because then if 2 bookshelves topple over, you won't be stuck underneath
We're going to move on to the correct answer. I'm not gonna. Well, fuck it. If he's in the lead anyway, let's give him the point.
No!
Yes, technically, an airplane would be the safest place to be during an earthquake.
In
However,
your house?
the answer I'm looking for is under a desk or other heavy object.
We literally did this once a year for school.
Oh, yeah,
Most
right.
injuries from earthquakes happen as a result of falling objects, like books from a bookshelf. So the safest place to be is under something that could protect you from falling objects. And that concludes our game. Our winner here, Ify Nwadiwe, close behind him, Becca Scott, and Ally, emotional
Thank
support.
Nailed it.
Dare you?
That's it for our episode. Join us next time for more pedantic, hyper-specific corrections on Actually.